2026 tax brackets that came out a couple weeks ago. What we want to understand in this video is two things: how those marginal tax brackets actually work. We're going to get a little refresher, and then what are those actual 2026 tax brackets. We're going to take a look at that first one right back here, right now. Thanks for following me over. Make sure you ignore the fact that I'm a dum-dum and wrote the title all the way on the right side of the board here. We want to focus in on the key aspects that we want to learn. How do marginal tax brackets actually work? We're going to get a little refresher here. We're not using the actual tax brackets. We're just using round numbers to get a little easier look at this thing. So how does these things work? Well, here we go. $10,000. Let's say we make $150,000. So we're down here beyond this last tax bracket here. We've made $150K. And we're going to see how much tax results from the process here. So the first $10,000, taxed at 10%. Easy enough, right? Duh. Now, what is going to get taxed at 12%? It's not going to be $30,000, of course. It's going to be that next $20,000. So then we have $20,000 taxed at 12%. We come down here. We're not going to get taxed on the whole amount of 22%. No, sorry, we're not. It's only going to be that $70,000 that ends up in this tax bracket here. $70,000, we're up to 100 that's been taxed now at their respective rates. We're using all of these rates as we graduate through here. As we get to the 150 here, we need to subtract that from the lower end of the bracket here. Let's just use it, keep it simple. We have $50,000 that's going to get taxed at 24%. The important part is not how much tax results, it's that this is how it works. This is how your money's going to get taxed. If you're at $150,000 in this situation, that $50,000 is going to get taxed at 24%. That previous 70, 22. That previous 20, 12. That first 10, 10%. So when you look at these the actual tax brackets here, remember that, because that's how it's going to work, and knowing that is how you ultimately can do tax planning for yourself and start to save and optimize your taxes. Now, just as a reminder, the key lesson that you need to be taking away from that are these marginal tax brackets and how they work. You don't make $100,000 and then automatically get all that tax at 22%. You graduate through those tax brackets no matter how much you make. So essentially, portions of your income get taxed at certain amounts. Now, what is that for 2026? That's what we're going to flip over and take a look at right now. Now, as we flip over to the slides here, we're going to take a look at married filing jointly and single filers, the two most common filing types. And we're going to hone in on the same exact idea here. We're not going to dive too far into the income and tax rates itself. You can see that. They speak for themselves. You just need to know how to calculate it if you have your taxable income amount. So let's say that amount is $200,000 for married filing jointly in this example. We just want to understand, look again, see how this is going to be calculated. That first $24,800 married filing jointly on the left-hand side here gets taxed at 10%. Now, the next amount up to $100,800 and not below $24,801 is taxed at 12%. In this case, that whole amount is going to be represented in your $200,000 in income. So what is the last tax rate we use? It's going to be that 22% because we have the $200,000. That falls between $100,801 and $211,400. So what do we actually need to do to calculate it? Well, the top end of our income is the $200,000. So we subtract $100,801 from $200,000. We multiply that amount by 22%. We add all those amounts together from the previous tax brackets, and we arrive at how much tax you have to pay. Simple, right? The concept at the end of the day is not that difficult, but if you're actually trying to calculate the stuff, you're trying to plan for it, you really got to know what you're doing. If you're not working with a professional, somebody who's doing this for a living, there's certain items you just have to know how they work. The marginal tax bracket is foundational to that, and you just have to know how these things add up the right way if you're ever going to be able to plan around these things yourself. My name is Matt Speckman. I'm a CPA. Thanks for joining. We're going to have plenty more videos like this. Come back for the next one. Thanks for taking your time to join this one. We'll see you next time.